Hi guys, Trevor Swenson with Through the Darkness. I'm glad to be with you. I'm glad you could be with me. Wanted to cover a topic quick tonight. I had a couple of very good appointments within the last week or so, and had some interesting talks that I think might be helpful to other people as well. If you are going through PTSD or if you are dealing with unresolved trauma, maybe in hopes of encouraging you to get help for your trauma and stressor-related disorder or your unresolved trauma. And I wanted to first talk about the EMDR session that I had this past week, which was really a quite amazing experience, if you will. And it really brought together everything that I have been talking about, that I have worked hard myself to dive deep in and learn about trauma and study the effects that it has on the body, and to study PTSD as somebody who is walking through the journey of having the PTSD diagnosis. And one of the things that happens in an EMDR session, which stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing, and that's why I'm going to call it EMDR, because it's too hard to spit that out. One of the things that you do in an EMDR session is that you bring yourself to a very calm and relaxed state or place. And this last appointment, it started out by trying to get me to a calm and peaceful state, which the entire time that I was going through the process with the bilateral stimulation, there were intrusive thoughts, intrusive memories, intense feelings that were happening throughout the process that I literally felt myself having to elbow out of the way, push out of the way, keep them out of me, trying to get myself relaxed through box breathing, which is another very good technique that does help to relax a person. And my psychotherapist asked, "How do you feel after that?" And I said, "I was really fighting." And she said, "I could tell you were fighting by the body language and the little things that we look for as we observe you going through this." And she said, "Now I want you to think about one of the best days that you've had in the past month or so." And the joke in that is that's kind of funny, because I've had one or two good days in the last month or so. So it was very easy for me to go back to exactly where I felt completely safe, completely at peace, completely calm, and a sense of joy was involved in the process. And that was when I was bringing my daughter and wife back from a boat ride. And I think I've shared that at sunset, one thing that we try to do is to take the boat out and enjoy the sun going down. And then on the way back, what I do is, whether it's a quarter mile or a half a mile, however far it happens to be, I will get on my gear for my night swim, and I will jump in and swim the rest of the way. And the interesting thing about this particular evening is that if you could picture swimming north and south, and with the sun going down in the west, every time that I would turn my head to breathe, as I was over that deep 50+ foot water, every time I turned my head to breathe, I would see that beautiful sunset slipping behind the tall, majestic pines. And I was listening to my breathing, and I was enjoying just the not only the cool water going over my body, but also the breathing and the rhythm of my swim stroke, and it was incredibly peaceful and incredibly relaxing. And that was the time that I was asked to visualize as I started to do the EMDR to prepare my mind in a healthy manner for furthering the EMDR session. So long story short, we went to the second part of EMDR, and she said, what I want you to do is I want you to picture the beauty and the glory every time you turn your head to breathe, and I want you to watch that sun go down, and I want you to feel the water going over you, and I want you to mentally go through an absolutely perfect stroke series as you make your way across the lake from the point. And I want you to concentrate on all of that as we're doing this. And the amazing thing that happened is, as I was doing that, not only did my breathing and my swim stroke and looking at the sunset and picturing it fall behind the pines just like it did that night, but it all fell into rhythm with the bilateral stimulation that was taking place while I was in the therapy session. And when we got done, it was absolutely amazing, because not one intrusive thought, not one bit of anxiety or depression. I was completely immersed in the experience again, except I had the bilateral stimulation and a psychotherapist there monitoring it as well. And I will tell you that EMDR for me really, really works. And if you're struggling with PTSD, if you're struggling with trauma and stressor-related disorder, if you're struggling with unresolved trauma in your life, and I will tell you that you know if you have unresolved trauma in your life, because if we were to turn you inside out for the whole world to see, your hurts and your fears and the things that have happened to you that were extremely injuring and have affected you in ways that you don't like talking about, those are the type of things that EMDR targets to help you with. And if nothing else, I just want today's message to be to encourage you that if you have unresolved trauma, you don't have to have a diagnosis of PTSD. You don't have to have a diagnosis of trauma and stressor-related disorder. Just get help, because I'm finding that as I walk through this walk, that there are new techniques like EMDR that really do work, that really allow you to feel what healthy feels like again. And for that short amount of time, I was able to feel how I'm supposed to be feeling at the end of my journey. And as I start to heal, what it feels like to not have those thoughts barging in, to not have those thoughts pressing down, to not have those thoughts eating away at my insides all day long and causing so much hell and mayhem in my life. So I just want to encourage you to think about getting help if you are struggling with unresolved trauma, no matter how that trauma came to be, whether it be through an accident, whether it be through some sort of abuse, whether it be through service to our country or our community, or through your family, or through a terrible relationship, whatever it is, please get help, because there are specialists out there that this is what they focus on, and their passion is seeing you become healthy and whole and living life to its full. And I just want to close with this, as I always like to close with this, that as I look around tonight and as I look across, you can't see what I'm looking at, but as I look across multiple planted fields and a beautiful stand of trees and wildflowers, I will tell you that there is healing power in the creation of our great God. there is healing power. It is my firm belief that He has put in place a piece of the puzzle of healing from trauma and stressor-related disorder when He put together the incredible creation that we get to enjoy on a daily basis. I ask you to click and subscribe. I ask you to forward this on to somebody that you think might benefit from what I had to talk about today. It's great to be with you, as I said, and I can't wait to talk again about another topic with PTSD and trauma and stressor-related disorder. See you next time.